reasons and why people don't pay attention to how important this is, or like why it matters, is because it's like kind of wonky, and the lexicon or the parlance or whatever is like so nerdy that people, like normal people, like they understand, I think, that it's bad and like they're lying about their finances and there's going to be economic ramifications, but they don't maybe, like when I talk to just not super online people or people who don't follow this beat or whatever, when I talk to them about this, their eyes kind of glaze over when I talk about like inference costs and training data and blah, blah, blah.
I can make it real simple.
Yeah. It's a lot of big words. There's so many big words. My mind is too simple. I need some help. I
also have a hard time sometimes with this stuff too. And I do read about this. So how about this? Let's start with this, Ed. By the way, welcome back to Kill the Computer.
Of course.
We're with Ed. He released an article that unfortunately came out on the same day as like, all this Epstein stuff. So
it did pretty well. I mean,
it did.
Epstein,
it's kind of blown up.
Even in his grave, is still targeting you, trying to ruin your life. This is all part of
nothing to do with him. Don't do this. Don't.
But Ed, you wrote a piece, and the gist of it is you got some behind the scenes data. And it showed some things that maybe, according to the Financial Times, who reviewed all this anyway, shows that Microsoft and OpenAI are potentially not being honest about how much what the revenues are and how much this shit costs. So can you just summarize what's going on?
So, okay. Great place to start is I'm going to use a term called inference. When you hear inference, it just means the process of creating an output from a model. So that's all that means. Think of it like the thing that the machine that spits out the thing that you get at the end when you ask ChatGPT whether you should drink a poison or not.
Like, so basically, if it's the image that's created of a minion flying a plane into the Twin Towers. That's the inference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Or it could be the text of the fanfic. You have it right about that subject. So the way these things work is that these companies tend to leak through the media. They will leak usually through investors. Investors will share the financial projections or the financial status of these companies. So fairly recently, publications have said that OpenAI made $4.3 billion of revenue in the first half of this year and lost $6.7 billion. Now, specifically, the cost of business, inference, the reported number was $2.5 billion. You'll be shocked to hear that the number I found was quite different indeed. So, for that period of time, just for the inference, just to be clear, just for the outputs, for the first half of 2025, OpenAI spent $5.022 billion. But hey, not too bad, right? If the number was $4.3 billion of revenue. Except, no, it's much smaller. So, to give you some clarity about what I'm talking about, I don't have every cent of their revenue, but I have the revenue share. So Microsoft gets 20% of all OpenAI's revenue. This is well established. I have those numbers. So, for the first half of 2025, Microsoft's revenue share was, in the first quarter, was $206.4 million, and then the next quarter, so April through June, it was $248.3 million. Basically works out to about $2.273 billion, which is a lot less than $4.3 billion for the math masters here. For the people that love math, that's a lot less. Now, a few terms and conditions here. There are other bits of revenue that OpenAI might get. Microsoft gives them 20% of the revenue they get from selling their models, as Microsoft exclusively is allowed to sell OpenAI's models on Azure. On top of that, Microsoft pays some unforeseen amount of Bing revenue. I must be clear, and I'm going to say this on here, not said it in the article, is I've seen some of the data around those numbers. It's not enough to cover $2.273 billion and $4.3 billion. So, I don't know if OpenAI is lying, but I can't find a way to reconcile what I reported with what happened. Yeah. Now, we're going to take a trip back in time now. So, very commonly reported for the year 2024, OpenAI apparently made $3.7 billion and lost $5 billion. Now, in other reporting as well, the inference costs of the number that is behind just creating the outputs was $2 billion. Wrong-o. Just completely wrong. Mm-hmm. The actual amount of money spent on inference in 2024 was $3.767 billion. And the implied revenue from that Microsoft revenue share was $2.469 billion. So a lot less than $3.7 billion. Long story short, I've said a lot of numbers, but these numbers are billions higher when it comes to the costs and billions lower when it comes to the revenues.
Like even lower than we originally sort of knew about, right?
Yeah. And clammy Sam Altman has been out in the media saying, oh, they're making way more, well more than $13 billion this year. I don't fucking know how unless they make $8 billion in the last quarter of this year.
Yeah,
because that's what they will have to make.
They can't tell you why or how. Okay, let me ask you this. What, just broadly, stupidly, I'm gonna ask some stupid questions.
No stupid questions, seriously.
Who's at risk here? Because I think everybody just colloquially, when we speak about this, people outside the beat or whatever, we all know this feels like a kind of a Jenga tower with some pretty fucking crucial pieces missing. Mm-hmm. Who's at risk?
So, well, I don't know. Maybe OpenAI has some big secret I don't know about. There's a little bit of a preface. I would go with all OpenAI's investors, because if what I have and my data is sound, I will stand beside it. If what I have found is true, there is a good chance that OpenAI just does not make the money they claim. There's a good chance that they're not that good at business. The ramifications for that are manifold. If OpenAI is wrong about revenue, who else is wrong about revenue? If OpenAI costs billions more than we thought, who else costs billions more than we thought? But if we think just about OpenAI's investors, if this is the condition they're in, there's no fucking way this company can go public. It's going to look like a dog's asshole on Thanksgiving. It's fucking ridiculous. I
mean, that hasn't stopped, like, bad revenue and like bad business like this hasn't stopped any of these other companies from getting like insane investors. I mean, I guess actually that's the next question is, would this be the first like AI first like sort of like ChatGPT, like that model? Would that be the first company on the market to do do so? Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, so that would be bad. Yeah.
The thing is, they leaked that they would be going for IPO in 2027, but then CFO Sarah Fryer said they wouldn't be doing that. So who knows at this point? I really don't know. But I think that the moment that this company filed an S1, which is the filing you do to go public, I think people will go nuts. I think they'll just be like, no, this is a terrible business. It's what happened with WeWork, who also are the, you remember SoftBank? That was SoftBank's last big play, and SoftBank just sold all of their NVIDIA stock to fund OpenAI.
I saw that's what they did. They shifted it to OpenAI.
That's where it's going. They owe OpenAI $22.5 billion. It's, to quote Conor O'Malley, this is awesome!
No, that makes no fun. I don't know. It's just, I can't stop seeing that this is just a continuous change of hands of money, and it's just like filtering around. They're just sort of, they're just like shuffling it around.
They're just feeding it to Microsoft.
Yeah. It's all, it's absurd to watch.
So another just related question, but maybe this isn't really part of your article, but I know that we've spoken about this privately. So Michael Burry, formerly now of Scion Capital.
Yeah, now they shut down due to woke.
Yeah, he shut down due to woke. The guy, that's Christian Bale from The Big Short, had made some allegations that maybe you could explain this. Essentially, the valuation or the devaluation of the GPUs is actually much worse as well than they've been. So can you explain that in simple terms?
Oh boy, in simple terms. Okay, there is a term called depreciation. When you as a company buy a thingy, such as a GPU, you choose to spread it out instead of just taking the hit immediately. You spread it out on your earnings. You just spread it out, theoretically speaking, across its useful life. So if you think the GPU will be useful for 4 years, you would spread the cost out for 4 years. And as this happens, it kind of erodes on your asset sheet. This is going to get a little too technical, but nevertheless, it's on your balance sheet as an asset. And then by the end of that period, it's kind of off. Now, the reason they do this is
because that's really the only assets that OpenAI holds, right?
OpenAI doesn't have any assets.
Okay, so who owns these data centers then and these GPUs?
That's the magic here. So that's actually a very complex question. Microsoft leases a bunch. Microsoft buys a bunch. Same with the rest of the hyperscalers. Meta just bought a bunch of data centers. But if we're focusing just on OpenAI, this is when the fun begins. So there's a company called Oracle. Oracle is a
friend of the show,
database
Larry
and
Ellison.
cloud software company.
Everyone loves that guy.
Founded by the guy everyone loves, Larry Ellison. But then they now have two CEOs. They have co-CEOs. And by the way, the last time I heard that happening was fucking BlackBerry. So your mileage may vary there. But nevertheless, Oracle is footing all of the money up front to a company called Crusoe, which is also raising money to build a data center in Abilene, Texas, one in Shackelford, Texas, and one in New Mexico somewhere, and one in Wisconsin as well. So the
that's the
OpenAI
Milwaukee one, I think. Yeah,
that sounds potentially right. There's so many of these things, tens and tens of billions of dollars, massive amounts of debt added to Oracle, and then you get to the point where OpenAI will at this point move in as a tenant and pay them using all the money they don't have.
So they're like renting the space, essentially.
Yes,
the renters.
Oracle is leasing the space from a company called Crusoe for a yet-to-be-built data center to rent to OpenAI, who does not have the money to pay them.
How do I have the same living situation as OpenAI and their fucking
really?
It's
fucking insane.
This is like the worst polycule of all time.
It really. It's poly shit. They all love saying abundance.
It is. This is abundant
loss. Anyway, what was your question?
So they're saying it's 5 years, and Michael Burry is alleging, or he and some journalists or somebody or others are alleging that it may be less than half of that until these GPUs need to be replaced.
Correct, and it's replaced or that they will simply be worth less, because NVIDIA, Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, has said that they are on a yearly cycle now. So they will be replacing these fucking things every year.
That's always been sort of like this aspect of data centers and all of this AI shit that I've never seen talked about too much, but it's always been like in the back of my mind that like they are going to have to replace all of this really quickly. Like the way that these GPUs are always used all the time at the scale that they're used, it's like this. It's just like so obvious that it would have to be, especially because like, they produce new like better ones every so often. Like this is it feels weird that like that's never even been addressed by any of these like tech people or companies or whoever.
But what Michael Burry is saying is that instead of saying that these things have I think Microsoft does 4.5 or 5. I think most of them do 4.5, 5. CoreWeave does 6. CoreWeave is a company that just sells AI capacity. And all of their customers, by the way, are Microsoft, OpenAI, and Google selling capacity, I shit you not, to OpenAI through CoreWeave.
They're all just the blowjob brothers. They're just all jerking each other off.
It's like it's the blowjob brother. It's so insane. But then you get to the fun part, which is the information reported, I think about a month ago now, the gross margins on the GPUs. So the 50,000 Blackwell GPUs that are in Stargate Abilene. The gross margin on a GB200 rack is a negative 100%.
Hell yes.
No, that's what I say every time I hear it. It's just like, hell yeah.
It makes me happy to hear stuff like that. Like,
so
genuinely
funny. And what's great is I tell my friends in the tech media, I'm like, look at this. Were you not worried? They're like, they'll work it out. It's like, who will?
What do you mean?
Who will work it out? How will they work it out?
And what like, so all of this happening when these companies cannot like crack, they cannot become cash positive. They're losing more and more money all the time. They're just exchanging hands. But like at the same time, politically, like with the recent election in Georgia, there was like a massive push against AI data centers because Georgia is one of the, as far as I'm aware, I recently looked at where like most of the data centers are across the United States. Most of them are in Georgia. There's been like a huge public and political backlash against these that manifested in this recent election in Georgia. So like at the same time of them struggling more and more to like actually become like businesses that function at all without like injections of money from each other. But like there's like a growing real political backlash to all of these things.
I'm pretty sure there was one in Virginia as well with the new, was it the governor? Forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head.
There was.
Yeah, where it was like a big thing. Like it was actually like a big part of it. Was her being like, hey, your electricity bills are going up because of data centers.
Mm-hmm. And Virginia also is the second most like it's second highest state in terms of like data centers. It's Virginia and Georgia, and those saw crazy swings.
It's really weird. It's like the West kind of looting the South. It's like big Western companies just fucking over.
We're finally finishing the job. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, reason.
I mean, I'm sure that's how they'd look at it. I'm sure that's how they fucking look at it.
And I mean, that's true. I think that's what's happening because, you know, like Texas, too, is another one of these big states. There's less regulations. You can sort of just get away with whatever bullshit you want. You can make quick deals with Republican politicians that sort of run these places because, of course, they're going to take all this money from these companies and just be like, throw that shit next to like our poor
gives a
people,
fuck.
our black neighborhoods.
Well, there's another horrific layer to this that I just read about maybe within 48 hours. I don't know if you guys caught this, but like asset management companies and private equity are buying out like power companies. So like BlackRock and Blackstone are, it's going to cost a lot more and we're going to purchase it and profit off of the increases.
And they're going to end up kind of like their dicks in hand, though, because there isn't really all of these things, these tenants, they're like, oh, we have guaranteed revenue from these tenants. It's like, what if the tenants go belly up?
Yeah.
What if the tenants die? Oh, what if it's Microsoft? Microsoft has like 1,500 lawyers. Do you think Microsoft has entered into any deal it can't leave? Like... People are like, oh, I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing people saying they'll work it out when the practicalities have been the same for years. Like, this is definitely like driving me a little insane as well, seeing people just saying things I said last year. But it's like, now everyone is saying this and the boosters are getting even crazier and even stupider. It's just, I'm not clear how this ends. And when my piece went out, there was genuinely a level of like, me contacting peers and being like, what do you think? And them saying, oh, there's probably something missing.
Like, you missed a couple of zeros. Yeah.
I wish that there was any of this level of skepticism for OpenAI. Because it's like, who do you think is wrong here? Do you think it's the guy who blogs or Sam fucking Altman, who is a well-known liar? I'm not even saying that Altman lied per se, though I really have trouble reconciling the 13 billion number.
All these sort of like aspirational business people, all these sort of businesses sort of do lie. That's like sort of maybe they just like exaggerate. That's sort of what they have to do, right?
Yeah, and the one theory I would buy is that when Altman said 13 billion, he meant 13 billion annualized. But he also tweeted that they would hit 20 billion annualized, which works out to about 100. They all use this fucking stupid thing, which used to be a regular thing you'd do in cloud, which was annualized revenue. So it's month times 12. That was fine until people started taking the piss with it. And now you've got clammy Sam Altman saying, oh, right, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, we're going to hit 20 billion. So $1.66 billion of revenue a month by the end of the year. And it's like, okay, mate, quick question. What the fuck does that actually mean in the round, though? How are you going to turn profitable? Every time someone asks about profitable, he does the Lord Farquaad thing of like, some of you will lose money, but it's a risk I'm willing to take.
And it's crazy because like that's happening. And then like the boosters of these companies and people are always like, it'll work out. It'll be fine. But like you talk to any average person that's like just sort of like barely tuned in to this issue, like with data centers and AI, or is like really tuned into it. Like, no, this is like sort of across political spectrums at this point too. Everyone's sort of just like waiting for this to start collapsing. But like the people at top are like, no, it really feels like they're just really trying to hold it together as long as they can, because
keep
like the average,
kids.
yeah, because it doesn't feel like that will last, and I think they probably know that and are just like holding on for dear fucking life. Also, quick aside, none of these like tech people know how to speak. Like Sam Altman, Mark Andreessen, Peter Thiel, none of these people
really
can talk
inelegant.
normally. Yeah, it's odd to me that these people can like convince people to give them trillions of dollars. By the way, like whenever I see them talking, I'm like, okay, this is a human
give
being.
Me
I
this
suppose.
Money. You sound stupid. Well, the other thing is one note as well is, we're in this point because nobody really bothered to check if any of this was true. That is the big message I'm giving everyone. And I think that I've never seen any kind of tech with so many people excited to watch it die.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that's something I forget. It must have been an episode of this show at some point, but I was just thinking recently that this is the first time in like technological history where older people like are adopting and more willing to adopt technology of AI than young people. I mean, in history, it's like young people.
That is
were always
really
the early
weird.
adopters.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's like early adopters were always young people, like very excited for the technology. But the people that are most anti-AI are young people. It's sort of
it's
inverse.
because the only people that buy this shit are the less technologically inclined. You have to be stupid to think that this is not stupid, but you have to be less. You have to know less about computers, or you have to use tech less, I think, to be excited.
There was literally a study that said that people that know less about AI are more impressed by it.
Yeah.
Like it's
like that Coca-Cola commercial. Did you guys see the AI Coca-Cola commercial?
Oh, yeah, that was so cool. I liked how the truck changed.
Tokens or whatever. Yeah, or like Santa has 7 fingers or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I cannot imagine.
70,000 prompts.
70,000 prompts.
Very cool.
As someone who is like sort of adjacent to marketing, like with me, like social work is like essentially like social media work is like technically marketing. I can't imagine a world where I were to put something out for the company that I work with that is creatively just not in line with like any consistent design. I like if that's like a normal company, if you're doing like normal creative work, you will get reprimanded. That's embarrassing. That's like an embarrassing thing for a company to have like like the truck change tire amounts, wheel sizes, wheel positions, apparently.
Yes.
Like logo. Yeah, that's just absurd. It's absurd.
And it costs like more than a normal commercial would have made. And they had to have a team of 5 full-time people to like make this piece of shit.
That's the wonder of AI.
Yeah, that's the this is destroying the economy and our brains for all this.
Yeah.
But I did have a question. Earlier you were talking about some of your peers and just the tech media in general. I wanted to ask you a question, and maybe this will be a stepping stone into a broader conversation. But like, if you look at, you're not the only person to report on these types of numbers. The New York Times, the Financial Times, who did look at your piece. I don't know who else has reported on it. CNBC, The Information, whatever.
The Register. The Register reported on my piece as well. The Information did not.
A lot of, I don't necessarily mean your piece, just in general on these kinds of numbers. And a lot of them have different figures. So I'm just kind of wondering, what do you chalk that up to? Because I know a bit, and you haven't, to be clear to everybody listening, Ed did not burn a source, but I do know a little bit about how you got these numbers. Do you think that some of the stuff for other kinds of figures like this are just access journalism, industry plants, or?
It is a number of things. So I can't speak to other people's sourcing because I truly don't know. But I don't know what they're doing, but as part of my last, I guess it will be 2 weeks ago when you put this out, but one of my last premium newsletters, I actually went back and I read every single mention of OpenAI's revenue. As in every single time anyone had reported OpenAI's revenue, I found it. And basically everyone had the same numbers, which is, I guess, makes sense, but is also peculiar based on what I found. But from what I understand, what is being shared by my peers is investor decks. So investor things that they are sending to investors, they being OpenAI in this case. And the investors get that. So it isn't clear whether OpenAI is sharing those numbers and saying, we sent this to investors. I have no knowledge there. But based on the reaction to my piece from non-specific peers, I think I trod in something. I think I accidentally made people slightly embarrassed because there is a genuine degree of there's nobody discussing this. It's so fucking strange.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them wasn't on Tech Meme, which is the big muckety muck where everyone posts that everyone's if your story is big on Tech Meme, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Nothing on there. They did have OpenAI's launch of GPT, what's it called? 5.1, which is even more sycophantic, I think. I don't fucking care. But there was that. There were also the Satya Nadella conversation, but nothing about mine. And I think what it is, I think my sourcing was different in that I actually met someone somewhere and got something. And it's I don't know. You could try that. What I got, I knew exactly what I was looking for as well. Like I've been looking for these numbers for a long time, since 2023. So like they were always the story. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed in my peers because shouldn't they be more excited that we're closer to the truth? Unless this isn't the truth that they wanted, in which case, that's strange. Why don't you want this?
It's a lot of wish casting.
Well,
it's like they want like access to. It sounds like probably right. Like they want the access. They want the information. Like that's why they just like uncritically, I think, give some of that, report some of that information that they're given.
I also want to be crystal clear here. There are a ton of good people on this beat, and I don't want to like throw.
There are heroes on both sides, like the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. And it's just frustrating because there is, like, to be clear, I heard from several peers who were like, hell yeah. Like there was a lot of like, hell yeah. Like it was cool.
Yeah.
There is also a degree of like silence. And I don't know. My personal view there is that if you acknowledge, and I actually understand the position they're in, I truly do. Because if you acknowledge the numbers I put out and you give them credence, you then have to say, fuck, did we get lied to? Did we get lied to like 7 or 8 times? Did all of us publish fake numbers? And to be clear, I don't think anyone deliberately did anything wrong. I'm sure that there are internal justifications for what those numbers mean. But at the same time, there is a degree here of, are we not interested in getting to the bottom of this? And I truly don't know. I'm choosing not to. I'm not going to have this conversation with them publicly because it isn't time. But if I'm right, and I believe I'm right, OpenAI's state may be genuinely horrendous. Like they may be actually in real fucking financial trouble. Like real aggressive financial trouble. The kind of thing that leads to the collapse of a company.
I also get the feeling, and I'm not trying to just put you over here necessarily, but I also get the feeling that if you were wrong, you would be open to having that conversation because you tried very hard, and so did the Financial Times, to get proven wrong on this. I mean, I know the FT article was, I don't want to say cagey. They were cautious about how they presented their piece on this on your stuff, but they even in their own article were like, yeah, we have no reason to believe that these numbers are wrong, and we tried to get Microsoft and OpenAI to say that these numbers were wrong, and they would not. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of suspicious. I
will fully admit there is a disappointment because it's like, this is a juicy piece of meat. This is juicy. We should all be, even as just sickos, we should be more excited about this. Like, this could be a scandal, but no, everyone wants to kind of plug their ears and sit there and be like, make him go away, make him go away, make him go away. It didn't work. It didn't work when the outlets did it, but anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I just had a thought. No. There's, I guess, this propensity to believe that these models just will get better and cheaper, and I think there's a number of reasons for that maybe I'll talk a little bit about, and then you'll get your opinion on. Like with the DeepSeek stuff that apparently was a lot cheaper than some of the United States tech companies, and then also just the way, even though this is a very funny thing that we've talked about on the show a lot, GPT-5 was purported to be like, oh, well, it's shittier, but that's because we're saving money. And actually, you were the one to tell me that GPT-5 somehow costs more.
And that was when that came out, that was there have been several jokification moments, but that was one of them where it's like going to outlets and being like, hey, I fucking have something. Nobody wanted to fuck it. Robert and Sophie at Cool Zone, just to be clear, were extremely supportive and excited. But it's like, nobody wanted to fucking talk about that. And it's like, I understand what the problem is. It is because there is a market consensus that AI is going to be the biggest, most hugest thing ever.
Yeah.
But on some level, it's like, okay, but if it isn't, don't we want to tell people?
Yeah.
And I think that when this all falls apart, whether they like it or not, there is going to be a referendum on how the media handled this.
Yeah.
And I think they assume that people will be forgiving like they were with the metaverse and with crypto, because crypto only kind of sort of went away. I don't think people will be because AI is so offensive.
It's like the third strike, first of all. And also, like, crypto and the metaverse, you could just laugh, like legs are coming, like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
People hate generative AI. The people, like most people, fucking hate this shit. They're hostile about it in a way that we never saw with crypto or NFTs or the metaverse.
Yeah, like, people hated NFTs, especially like the Bored Ape stuff. But this one feels like it feels bigger now.
It feels like the worst thing that you got with the NFT guys was those Bored Ape guys cooking their eyes at the fucking what was it called?
That was so funny. Yeah, they went to it's like in Singapore or something.
Yeah, they all had to get like
surgery.
Yeah, surgery for their eyes. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, whatever. Like, these hapless dopes. Yeah, like. But they're not like Bored Ape guys weren't buying out entire towns throughout the South. You know what I mean? So there's like
an actual real physicality like that like is harmful. I mean, not even just like the physical nature of it, but just like what it means for like, oh, can we generate images of like actual people doing things? That's a little concerning.
Yeah. And that's this other thing that I just saw today. I didn't have time to verify how true this is, but there's a creator on TikTok that I follow that, and his whole thing is just like, here's how to spot like AI videos if you're not sure. Like, even like the more compelling AI videos, if you know what to look for, are pretty easy to figure out. That's his whole thing. And then he's like, man, like the way that YouTube is handling things, like they're changing all their monetization to like favor shorts, and then they're just flooding it with AI crap. But then what they're also doing is adding like filters to like manual uploads, so like just his video on YouTube Shorts has that kind of shitty sheen to it to cover up for like how bad AI videos look.
YouTube,
that's concerning.
Very concerning. YouTube, just in general, if you're listening to this episode on our YouTube, I have, whenever YouTube launches new AI features as of 2025, they automatically turn them on. So they'll launch the features, they'll tell you about it, and you have to go like down 7 menus to turn off like a new AI feature if you don't want it used. It's this like continuous like forcing it down everyone's like throat and leaning into this technology that everyone fucking hates. It's astounding.
Well, I think that was kind of the point that I was getting at. I got a little sidetracked. Was that is kind of the reason that people hate this shit, is because it's being forced upon them. And in a way that I think, even if maybe people who don't think about this stuff because they have lives, unlike me, they don't know, like they haven't spent the time kind of like looking into this stuff like we have or whatever, but they just feel and they know socially, societally, whatever, that there's like something wrong with what is happening, and it feels uncanny valley. It feels bad, or like, I'm pretty sure I've said it on the show more than once, but I made a brand new dummy Instagram account just so I could look at things. I don't use it very much, but I don't want to use my personal one to look at stuff. But if people send me a link, whatever, I have an account that had like no followers on or whatever. And all the default ads and all the reels that it was showing me are like just AI face swap porn and like whatever. Yeah. And like, I just feel like ordinary people see that and they're fucking disgusted by it. Right.
It's odd. And it's like not even just that, bad. Not even it's like revolting. The social aspect, because that is like, very revolting. It just feels awful. But like, it's not even just that. Like, it goes even further with the like, oh, everyone's electricity bills are like noticeably higher, and then you're like, okay, why is this happening? Oh, it's because there is 1 trillion GPUs down the road plugging away at like AI foot porn or whatever the fuck people fucking do with AI and generative AI. So it's like people like, it's just like something that people will feel. It's like it's going to continue to get worse. It's going to hit a point where it will become completely politically, and I think we're already at this point, to be clear. It'll become a point where it will be politically advantageous to be like anti-tech. And I think part of that is because of these technologies sort of getting this free reign to do whatever they want, wherever they want, with like complete silence for the most part. Not everywhere, of course, not everywhere, but like basically a lot of compliance in the broader media.
Yeah, and I mean, when this ends, because it will end, I'm confident, I am going to be quite merciless when it comes to anybody who says, how could we have stopped this? And I know that they're going to be fucking around. I know that people are going to be like, well, there was no way to know. It's like, actually, there was a really obvious way to know, like A very, very obvious way to know. You could have just looked at the numbers a year ago. A fucking year ago, because it was exactly the same. To this day, only one hyperscaler has talked about their AI revenue, and it's Microsoft, and they stopped talking about it. They stopped talking about it. Do you think it's because it's so good?
Yeah, usually when people disappear and stop talking about their projects just altogether and stop,
because they're going too well.
It's going too well.
They're shy.
Yeah, they don't want to make. They're being humble. They don't want their enemies to feel bad. Or
They're making moves in silence.
Something that these companies typically do.
Let's do a little thought exercise here. And Ed, I know you'll like this.
Okay.
Let's imagine a world where everything that you've said is true. The era of smiles begins. This crashes. First of all, what does the crash look like? Because, this is a two-part question, so bear with my meandering for a second. On an episode that we already recorded, but is coming out after this, we compared a little bit of this to like the dot-com bubble. And something that I had said on there is like, well, like the dot-com era was a little different in the sense that like there are companies here that still do and make things. So I think that like they'll survive, possibly, probably a lot of these companies. Whereas some of these .com ones were just, everything was completely hypothetical, and they were either too early or just didn't do anything worthwhile and they went under, whatever. So there's a difference there. So I guess my question is, what does the crash look like? And then what is the post era of smiles look like? What happens to AI? Because I don't think this is actually ever going to go away, but it's going to look very different once people have to pay what it actually costs to use, and the applications are going to be a lot more limited, right?
So it really depends how much longer it goes on, because the longer it goes on, the worse this is going to get. The more that this is going to be genuinely financially upsetting, because right now, big tech is sinking all this money into it. The more money they sink into it, the worse it's going to get. If this takes several years, then it's going to be that much worse. But what's really going to happen as we record this, CoreWeave's stock is getting it's just getting its arse beat. In the last week, it went from $104 a share to 78.57. It's actually been lower today. And that CoreWeave is the most well-known AI compute company. They are the most well-known. They are the one that NVIDIA has sunk a bunch of money into. They're the one that NVIDIA is backstopping their revenue. NVIDIA has agreed to buy all of their unused capacity, I think, through 2030, which is fucking crazy. They're also, CoreWeave is a company that sells AI compute, and what they do is they buy GPUs using debt, and then use those GPUs as collateral to get more debt to buy more GPUs. All very good. All great. Their biggest customers are OpenAI, like I mentioned, and Google for OpenAI and Microsoft for OpenAI. CoreWeave dying is going to be one of the big signs. CoreWeave running into financial trouble. But it really could be anything, because nobody is really making money on AI, so nobody is making big money talking about their actual revenues. It's just the market being run by people with the brains of dogs and journalists not doing their jobs in any way, shape, or form when it comes to actually interrogating these things. So what's going to happen, more than likely, is there's going to be some sort of souring event. Maybe it will be that OpenAI's actual revenues come out with a balance sheet and someone goes, oh, fuck, Ed was right the whole time, and they have to apologize, which they won't do. Or it will be something about Anthropic, or it will be a major AI company that shits the bed, maybe a Perplexity. And then the stock crash that we're kind of seeing, crash is a big word. The stock cool off we're seeing right now will turn into a crash. It will turn into a situation where everybody's stocks are getting the shit beat out of them. The big situation that we're looking for, though, is a hyperscaler saying we're going to walk away from AI capex. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to see. I think it's going to be Meta, because they are now on their fifth reorganization of their AI stuff. I fucking love Mark Zuckerberg. I love Zuckerberg so much.
Whenever Meta is like, okay, we're gonna go all in on this new thing, it's like, okay, that's the next crash.
Yeah, the Glow Dog from Akewood. It's
like Kramer.
The
Kramer
it's
thing.
like you don't want to. It's real stinky when they get involved, but. It's hard to say exactly what will cause it, because there have already been so many events that should have. But it's going to be one thing that really sours the market. It's going to be a DeepSeek type thing, but probably not DeepSeek itself. It's going to be, it comes out that a company is massively overstating its revenues, for example. from an outlet that people give respect to, unlike me, or it will be Anthropic or Perplexity or maybe even Cursor, who just raised a big round. Like, it will be one of these darlings that ends up being full of shit. And when that happens, it will send the market into a tailspin. Really, we're going to see a lot of kind of quieter signs between now and then. If there's any kind of talk about it being tough to raise. But I did see something in an information article where someone said that, let me actually pull this up. Some researchers are trying to take advantage of high investor interest in AI. They have told some investors that growing concerns regarding the costs and benefits of AI have prompted them to raise a lot of money now rather than wait and risk a shift in capital markets. Are you fucking kidding me? Just to simmer that down real simple, they're saying we're raising money now before people work out we don't make enough money.
I was thinking about that. I took a pause. Like, wait, that sounds really, really, really bad.
It's really
Why are they allowed to
bad.
get away with this? Why are they allowed to do that?
Well, because
somebody should
investors
do
are
something
stupid.
about all the problems.
Well, it's just like, also, if you're an investor that invests after hearing that, you deserve to lose every fucking penny. I'm sorry.
I never feel
when
bad
someone's
about
like,
these.
hey, can you invest now? Everyone's getting real mad at my bullshit company.
Yeah.
My company fucking sucks.
Okay, let's get to the second part of that question then. So
Okay.
after this is the era of smiles where all this goes to hell. Post era of smiles, the dust has settled. What does generative AI look like to you? What do you think? I mean, I don't
think it's going to be quite as prevalent as you see it today. I think ChatGPT ends up forwarding to probably Copilot. And Copilot
Microsoft just acquires the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Satya Nadella, it's actually really funny. Altman just spent all this money and promised all this shit to Broadcom to build their own AI chips. And Satya Nadella went on a podcast saying, like, yeah, we got all the IP on that. Because they do as part of the deal. So Microsoft will absorb the remains of OpenAI, forward ChatGPT to Copilot, but massively reduce what you can do with it. Because there's no way that there's no justification for running this service. The service will probably burn somewhere between, I don't know, it's probably burning billions a year, just fucking sitting there. It's so cool. It's so cool that all of this is happening and we don't have any real problems
just so
to solve.
every website and app can take 10 seconds longer to load because it has to have the little AI chat. I was trying to edit a PDF today, and the Adobe was like, I couldn't fill in my fucking signature on this PDF I needed to rent an apartment because it was like taking too long to load like the AI help bot to tell me how to put a signature in the PDF. And it was such a little like frustrating irony that I almost just shot my computer right then and there. Like, you know what I mean? This sucks. This is like, you're going out of your way to make everything worse for a thing that makes no money. Like, this is crazy.
My little pet theory about stuff like that, why if you go to like pretty much any website where there could possibly be AI at all, is like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like websites will implement AI in really obtrusive, annoying ways. I think the best example is on Adobe Express. Like the website, for a long time, they just had like in the top left, that's where you like edit the file name. Recently, like a couple of weeks ago, they put a huge ass AI button that like sparkles and shines, and it's just like takes up so much space that you have to like click 3 times. You have to do like 3 click throughs in like a little drop down menu to change your file name, all because they wanted to put a big fucking button so they could tell their fucking company, their owners, like, see,
AI.
people are use AI. People are clicking on it because it's just in the fucking way. And it's just like this is
what Adobe loves to do. They literally in their last earnings said they have $5 billion annualized revenue. Fucking tired of this fucking shit. Which is month times 12, by the way. So that works out to, I can't even do the math right now. I'm so tired. But they say that's $5 billion of annualized revenue of AI influenced. AI influenced. Now you may think such a bold statement would be, I don't know, in their earnings statement somewhere. The word influence is in it once, and it is not anything related to AI. It's just like
it's all just a house of cards. That's like, I mean, that's really what all of this is at every step of the way. That's what all of this is.
It's just a
and that's
fucking
why whenever
lie.
people are like, oh no, this is like, it's going to be the future. Just like I do think like AI will. Yeah, no, I think you're right that like I think AI will stick around. I don't think. I don't
know how much of it will, because
I think it will, but like in a very limited sense. Like you'll have to pay. It'll be like a subscription thing. You can't just like download a fucking weird dinky app that like generates unlimited like shit for you. Like I feel like it'll be like, if there is generative at all, it'll be hyper scaled back, like in terms of like the amount of people that have access to use such tools.
Yeah, but I want to make a point as well. So back in September 2024, I wrote a piece called The Subprime AI Crisis, which pissed some people off because they said, this is nothing like the great financial crisis. Well. Well. Look who's been vindicated. But I said in it that, so all of these companies right now, every AI company you know, is probably paying OpenAI and Anthropic. And they are paying a rate of cost per million tokens. Now, sounds great, right? Everything sounds fine. Everyone's being real normal. Except for the big banner behind it that says, this is all subsidized. All of these prices are actually way cheaper than it costs to run these things. What happens when these companies, such as OpenAI, need to actually, make any margin of any kind? They're going to raise the prices to what they actually cost. Yeah. At this point, all of the startups, and just to be clear, all of the current AI startups are already unprofitable. They're already unprofitable, despite the fact that they're getting a sweetheart deal. Though they wouldn't think that they are because they're all stupid. What happens when they have to start paying real market rates? What happens when they have to start paying what these things actually cost? And the answer is they'll all fucking die. None of their business models will make sense. None of them will be able to do it. And that's the thing. All of those services that you know today, there's a good chance that they just fucking disappear. Yeah. Perplexity won't exist. Perplexity exists for one reason, and that's to turn, well, it's actually two reasons. One, turn venture capital into dollars that Perplexity burns even. And then for Aravind Srivanas, the CEO, to occasionally make some insane promise, such as when he promised to buy Chrome or TikTok. Two things he really did. And everyone just reported it. Everyone just fucking reported it like, oh, Aravind Srivanas, they said that they're going to spend $34 billion to buy Chrome. I'll just go ahead and report that. I don't know. Maybe don't just report. I get that we have this with Trump, whatever, but can we not do it with the business companies? Can we not fucking try? But I guess at this point,
of everything. You can just say shit.
Well, that's the thing. Kind of, but this has always been a problem with tech.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has been a problem for a long time. And it's kind of sickening because I think that you're going to see a lot of the media try and pretend like this either never happened. I think when this all ends, they will just be like, AI was too soon. That's going to be they're going to claim that AI, it was just too soon for it, which is technically true, by the way. It was too soon in the sense that what exists today is impossible to make profitable. But
yeah,
it's very frustrating because, and I'm going to be fucking merciless as well. I have receipts from everyone. I kind of did it in the piece on OpenAI's revenues, in that I was like, hey, this is what everyone said. Why is this so different from what I found? And everyone's natural reaction was to say, oh, it's because you're wrong. And it's like, what if I'm... Well, that's what I've kind of said to a few people. I was like, what if I'm not wrong? Have you prepared
it just seems
for
to me
this?
At this point, Ed, that you've pissed off enough people that they would want to prove you wrong, and by trying to prove you wrong, they would get to the objective truth, right?
Exactly. That's actually a really good point. It's like, if you disagree with me, I don't know if you think I'm writing shit on the walls of my prison cell, for example, could be talked about anyone. I think the easiest thing to do, as you said, would be to go out and get proof. And no, your proof cannot be this will be bigger. It cannot be the projections. But when you've built your outlet on taking the evidence given to you by the company, I don't know, maybe you don't have the tools. And to be clear, there are plenty of journalists, plenty of them, that can go out and get this. And indeed, I imagine after my piece, there were several that are probably in the process of doing so.
Good.
And if they are not, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Because to your point, if I'm wrong, then they should get the truth. If I'm right, they should also get the truth.
They should be reporting the truth, yeah. Okay, I have one more question to round this out for you. Because I know we're coming up close to the end here, and I want to be respectful of your time, not go over too much, but I have to ask, what do you make of this whole OpenAI debacle about federal backstops. For
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
I was so curious. Yeah, I was hoping we'd get to this.
Just to be clear, they didn't actually ask for a federal backstop for the company. This has been horribly misreported. The Journal actually ended up changing their headline quietly. I noticed. Pepperidge Farm remembers. But what happened was Sarah Fry was on stage at a Wall Street Journal event and just said, yeah, there could be various ways you could fund data centers. You could be like, we need new kinds of debt, like maybe the government could do that, maybe the government. And then Clammy Sam Altman went out and said, no, we didn't mean that. We didn't mean that. She's fucking nuts. She's crazy. This woman's... He didn't say this bitch is crazy, but that would have been really funny if he did.
Women be shopping.
Then, not a day later, it came out that OpenAI had sent a letter to the US government asking if they could add data centers and GPUs to the CHIPS Act. So they kind of did, but kind of didn't. But OpenAI did not ask for government support. They definitely, however, were floating the idea. They were hoping that maybe a government would come out and be like, oh, we'd love to burn a bunch of money for no reason. We would love to spend money on something because we need to. We would love that. Actually, this sounds perfect.
I think Trump came out and even said, like, no, not really.
David Sachs, the AI czar. Just a great term right there. Love that. He came out.
All-in guys are in the
exactly. I'm trying not to.
It fucking tortures me.
Think about it.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he came out and he was like, "There will be no bailouts." But his logic was there are plenty of other AI firms that will take their place. It's like, mate, just probably not. If OpenAI dies, everyone's dying. Because to actually give you a long tail answer to what we were discussing is, when OpenAI dies, the problem is not just that OpenAI is dead, it's that the magic is gone. Like, at that point, you can't logically argue that there's any reason to invest in these. The best capitalized, most well-known, most popular company in the industry fell over and died like a sick dog and rolled around pissing itself and then died in public after lying repeatedly. Do you think anyone's going to be like, but Anthropic will be different? And perhaps they'll try, but do you think they're going to back Cursor or Perplexity or Replit? Do you think any of these fucking things?
I think it'll be, dude. Yeah, I think it'll be Meta's day, actually.
I must be clear, I fucking love how Zuckerberg's dealing with this. He's just like, who do we get to run our superintelligence thing? The CEO of a training data company who does not have any experience in this other than training data.
Let's give all these people $1 million signing bonus.
No, 100 million. It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking sick. But I think it will also be really funny. I don't think we should undersell how funny and satisfying it will be. Because these companies, they have taken up our oxygen and our money for so long. I also think that Trump will gladly laugh at them because do you think he likes Sam Altman? All I want is Trump just wants to go, Clammy Sammy. Clammy Altman, he's a very bad man. What's he been up to? And the $1.4 trillion. But you know what? Actually, here's a rant for you.
Yeah.
This fucking company has agreed to $1.4 trillion in deals. $1.4 trillion. And the business and tech media is still repeating it, being like, that's weird. Huh. How are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? Guess they'll raise money. That's going to
be fun to watch.
I can't fucking wait because I've been building, I think I'm like easily over 1 million words in the last 2 years. And it's like, I have so many receipts. I have so many fucking... I have the reason last Friday I was able to do an exhaustive list of every single revenue story is I've read all of them. Every single one, without exception. And thus I can put them all together and say, that's weird. What's crazy to me is there was one outlet that I won't name where I went and I looked at the story they had told over Anthropic's gross margins. They reported multiple times that Anthropic's gross margins would be at 45, 55% in 2024. You want to know what they ended up being? Negative 109%. The same outlet reported their number, and it's like, I don't fucking know. If you tried looking at your own... And at that point, if I got those numbers, I'd be going back to Anthropic and going, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you... Why are you fucking lying to me? Why are you fucking lying to me? Because the answer is they're lying to someone. And sure, they can say, oh, well, it's a different calculation. Fuck you. Fuck off. If I did a different calculation when raising a home loan, I'd be in jail. I'd be in jail for fraud.
I think you know what? I think the underlying lesson here is financial fraud and financial, like lying about finances, is actually really easy, and we should probably be doing it a lot more.
Whoa.
Because it is really easy. I think
I was
I'm gonna
make the opposite point here, in the sense that like I'm currently applying to move to a new place. And to get like the two places that I'm serious about moving to, both of them required 3 years of tax statements, 3 months of bank statements, pay stubs, biometric scans, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, this feels like I have to go through more financial verification to get a fucking shitty apartment for me and my cat than these companies do to get like $1 billion from these fake bucks from VCs.
I just want to be clear, by the way, it's not a feeling, that's actually true. That is 100% true.
Okay,
I spoke to a big VC last year, and I asked them, do you ever see the financial statements of these companies? And he's like, yeah, sometimes.
That's so crazy.
It's fucking insane.
No, I think...
And honestly, my long tail thing is, I want to teach regular people to ask these questions so it becomes untenable to do this in the future. Because that's the only fucking way things change. If it becomes untenable to lie and lie and lie and lie, then maybe something could change.
No, I think the lesson here is it's good to lie. It's really cool. Okay. I'm gonna do a lot of fraud this year. You're not even ready for it. Yeah.
I don't agree with fraud, but let me know how it goes.
Got you on record for that one. Yeah. Don't worry, we got you on record.
Just be careful, because do you remember when you made, this is completely off point, I'm sorry, you made that tweet like 2 years ago about how like people should just lie more because Republicans do it. Yeah. And people still like talk shit about that tweet like 2 years later.
Hank Green made a video about it.
Or John Green. Wait, really? Hank Green made a fucking video about that.
Well, it was like not just about me, but I think it was John Green. It was like post-election. It was just this last election. And I said something like, yeah, no, Republicans like lie and it like just sort of works out. Like, I think Democrats should like, you know, lie better. I forget exactly what my take was or something, but he put me in his video and he was like, this take is really bad. And I'm like, oh,
that's fun. You know what? You want to know what that fucknut also did? He did a fucking AI Doomer piece recently being like, we don't know how we've lost control of the models. I'm going to say it.
He's a scared of the computer guy.
And by the way, when someone says we've lost control of the models, what they actually mean is we don't know how to make them do what we want. That does not mean the same thing. The model isn't, ChatGPT isn't sitting there planning to fuck Kevin Roos's wife. It just tells him it would, make him leave his wife. I don't know. Sorry if Kevin Roos listens to this. ChatGPT you never said that ChatGPT should do anything with your wife. I apologize. It just tried to make you leave and you're terrified of it. But here's the thing. The actual reason is because they fucking suck. They suck. They're not useful at shit. So people go, oh, we've lost control. Fucking Hank fucking Green. Yet another one of these fucking epic bacon science guys. Oh, I fucking love science. Can't trust them. Can't trust them at all. And anyone doing this line of shit about, oh, we should be scared. We should be so scared of the computer. You're a fucking coward. You should be scared of the fact that, and especially to put June on fucking blast over that thing, it's fucking accurate. I'm furious by that. I'm actually furious.
It was fine. It was okay. It was okay. I didn't take it super personally, but like, I'm glad. Thank you.
I'm now taking it personally for you. But the thing is, to wrap up the point is, everyone is still doing this fucknut dance where they're trying to find a reason that all of it's big, because if they have to accept the truth, they have to accept so many things, but starting with that the media, in many cases, will just print whatever is put in front of them. They will just say, oh, Anthropic's aggregate gross margins are 38% as of September 2024. And the thing is, it's totally fine to report that. But if they ever diverge, you have to go back and you have to say, I don't fucking trust them. That's what you have to do. But no one wants to do that, because doing that would kill access. But also, they'd have to admit they're wrong. I truly believe that readers and viewers and listeners are going to remember that they were misled.
Absolutely.
this whole thing really infuriates me because the people who are going to get hurt now are people with 401ks, retail investors on Robinhood or Moomoo or whatever fucking platform that are piled into Nvidia and the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, so I guess I guess that was my final question was that of course if whenever the bubble bursts, not if, when the bubble bursts, because I do think it really truly is just on the horizon at this point. It won't just be these companies that get hurt. It is a lot of people. It's a lot of individuals, and that's sort of people. And I think this is probably the most comparative to the .com bubble compared to the 2008 recession, maybe. But that doesn't mean people will use that and be like, well, websites are still around. We still have websites. We recovered. It was fine. But it's that's sort of ignoring the short term year or 2 years of the actual repercussions of this. I guess how do you think that'll look, that that for just the average person, not even just the companies, because the companies will burst, but will that downstream affect a lot of just people that are just caught in the blast radius?
Well, here's the grim part. So the Magnificent Seven makes up 35% of the US stock market. Nvidia, I think, is over 10% now, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That is where, and think about it, you're a regular person on Robinhood or whatever platform, and you just buy stocks, and number has gone up so fast and so vast.
You're just literally talking about me. I'm looking at my Robinhood app.
But that's the thing, though. It's like people who read CNBC or watch Bloomberg, and all they hear is AI, AI, AI. Even sometimes, you'll get people saying it's a bubble, but it's a good bubble. I want to say
bubble.
It's good diarrhea, and it's
cleaning out the system.
Yeah, it's good to get this out. It's not a good bubble. So you've got all of these regular people who have been just reading the news and being like, oh, these companies will be worth more money forever. And my friend was driven insane by ChatGPT. That's good, I think. And I'm just going to keep putting money into Nvidia because Nvidia keeps going up. Every time Nvidia's earnings come out, everyone goes, I'm hard. And that's what they do, and they buy more stocks. What happens when all of the tech stocks take a haircut? Because right now, tech is holding up the US economy. The US stock market and data center development, the US economy. What happens is we see a prolonged decline in tech valuations, but on top of it, we run into the problem of tech no longer being these perfect angels. The whole point of tech stocks is that software proliferates infinitely. You can always sell more, and the cost of business is not that high. Unless you're doing AI, then the cost of business is insanely fucking high. So high, why did you ever do this? And now these companies are full of debt. And really, everyone still believes in tech stocks because they believe there is a growth story, an infinite growth story, the rot economy. Everything's about growth forever. Tech, which is now 35% of the US stock market, I believe will take a massive haircut and a permanent one. I think that because remember, stock valuations are not always correlated to actual business returns.
Right.
Those businesses
good example of that.
Not quite meme stock on them yet, but not as far off of them as it should be. And so all of these stocks that have become kind of supports for the US economy and the US markets start to not be as reliable and don't get valued as well. And eventually,
I feel like the U.S. economy right now is that episode of The Simpsons where they rebuild the Flanders house.
Yes, this room has too much electricity.
Yeah, that's a load-bearing poster. The Tesla stock price is the load-bearing crusty poster.
But really, Nvidia is the load-bearing stock. And the problem with Nvidia, the reason I'm really, 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 really sure that this is going to fucking explode is Nvidia inevitably will drop, because last quarter they had 55% year-over-year growth and the stock market got nervous. That's because they'd previously had over 100% growth. They had 164% in one year-over-year. I forget when that was in 2024. Nvidia cannot grow in the way the markets need it to, because Nvidia would then need to sell 100, 150, 200 billion worth of GPUs per quarter in like a year or two. There's not enough money. Mark Zuckerberg is already having to put together a fucking Dr. Doofenshmirtz from fucking Phineas and Ferb style machine to buy one set of GPUs. Mark Zuckerberg is already doing alchemy to raise... He's already doing the Full Metal Alchemist shit, the dog person thing, to do an SPV.
Chimera. Yeah.
Sam Altman and Nvidia are already allegedly planning to lease the GPUs. lease them.
No, you can rent them. You can get a. You can
really
fucking
can't. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're claiming they will.
Porn apps.
Come on.
But that's the thing. Everyone's just fucking building this debt up, and then eventually the market's going to go, I don't like this anymore. I don't like AI. I don't like it.
It feels like we're there in terms of public opinion, but once we get there and like the investors, that's going to be a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen is tech stocks won't be worth as much because regardless of how the GPUs go in the future, there is that thing I was talking about with depreciation. So you know what happens when an item is well known to be worth less than when you purchased it? It's something called an impairment. So I don't know if you bought 450,000 H100 GPUs in 2024 for Microsoft, 160-something thousand for Meta, 120 or 130,000 for Google. They are in a few years going to have to take a mass impairment event. So, because everyone will agree the H100 is worth less. That will be billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And they'll have to do it again with the A100s. They'll have to do it again with the Blackwell GPUs. They'll probably have to do it again with the Vera Rubin GPUs. So we have to look forward to this massive event where everyone just gets fucked. And I think when that happens, the market just goes, fuck tech. Just fuck tech stocks. Why did we believe in you? And the answer is because you're all fucking stupid.
Amazing. I can't wait for it.
Awesome. Ed, where can our listeners find you if they don't already follow you on various sties and barns on the internet?
BetterOffline.com. Please subscribe to my premium newsletter. Please, God, I need the money. I need to keep this operation going so I can continue buying Diet Cokes. Yeah, if the board's going to fuck me over.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ed, for coming on. Please check out Better Offline and your newsletter, whereisyourEd.at, and your other podcast with somebody else you guys may know.
Oh, yeah, the 60-minute drill. You got to jump on that bad boy.
Yeah, we're a little behind. We've all been sick and traveling and blah, 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 but it's fun. We're having a good season, so check us out there, too. And thanks for listening, guys. We will, we'll see you next... Oh, do you have something, June? Sorry.
Yeah, one final thing. If you enjoyed... this conversation talking about tech behind the paywall, in a couple of days, I believe probably sometime this weekend, we're going to have an episode of All This for $10 with MYLP, where we talk a little bit about
earlier.
Yeah, I'll just plug it again, but where we talk about the .com bubble and sort of just a little bit about what happened, some of the companies. It's just sort of an interesting look back into the past and a little companion to this episode. If that sounds interesting, that is on the Kill the Computer Patreon, or that will be, rather.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.
See ya.